Royal greetings. My name's His Royal Majesty King Francis Kelechi Nwaneri III, the Paramount Chief of Africa, the founder of SWAF. SWAF means Southwestern African Forum Federation, and the Dean of Ambassador to the State of African Diaspora. Above all, I stand as the Paramount Chief of Africa for the past 7 years in the continent, whereby I do the work of resuscitation, revival, and restoration of African dignity.
Thank you very much, His Royal Highness. Today, of course, we are looking at the issue related to Nigeria because Nigeria is turning to 61 shortly, okay, in a few days. So we are looking at the issue relating to the security in the country. Just now, I was looking around to see what the people are thinking about the Nigeria situation. So I was seeing an article, I think that was published in Vanguard. Let me see if I can pull it out a little bit, at least just the title you can see. The country is gone. Only God can save Nigeria now. And I think a part of that article also read, at 61 years, Nigeria is full of enmity, full of divisions, hatred, ethnicity, a country that cannot pull themselves together. Everybody has responsibility. So ask yourself, the article says, have I played my own part? So let us start from there. What is the background of Nigeria? Let's pick it from there.
What the governor has said, I think I will be seconding it one way or the other because Nigeria is faced with several security threats. Nigeria is faced with several things that are waiting for them just like a lion. And as a continent, Nigeria is the firstborn of Africa, but it has almost sold its birthright for food. And in other ways, biblically, you saw a lot of people stood out in the Bible and spoke about the first sons who sold their birthright. As a king, I am saying that Nigeria is not exempted from such that has happened in the Bible. It's happening presently now because as an African, a lot of people, a lot of countries in Africa look forward to Nigeria. Nigeria has a lot of resources and a lot of educated and learned men and women that if you go around the whole African continent, you'll find out that Nigeria dominates in terms of education, in terms of all that it matters in social areas, but yet we are backward. I wouldn't know whether I would say, because they say a fool at 40 is a fool forever. I wouldn't know if I should say we are still believing God, as the governor has said, we are still believing that God can turn around Nigeria. And for it to turn around Nigeria, the leaders have to also be turned around and their mentality has to change from what it is. It's selfishness, greed. That's what is full of them. So you can imagine the situation of the jihad. You can imagine the situation of the banditry. You can imagine the situation of name them, you will just be very surprised what is going on in Nigeria. Kidnaps, and you go down to the oil militant. Which one are you going to talk about? Separation is now the order of day in Nigeria. Separation of the Oduduwa state, separation of the Biafra. But of course, what do you expect? When people feel that they are not well led, when the center cannot hold, the surroundings fall apart. That's what Chinua Achebe has said in his popular novels he wrote some years back, or decades of years now. But I'm going to say that the situation of Nigeria can still be mendable. It can still be mendable if we have those who are not greedy, who are not selfish, who are not coming into power in Nigeria for the purpose of enriching themselves and community and their family. We need a Jesus in Nigeria. Or you can say Muhammad if you're a Muslim.
I like that.
Yes, we need that to come up on board, whereby a lot of sacrifices will be made. And those sacrifices is to say that, yes, we are standing out to save our nation and save the continent, because if Nigeria is bettered, other countries in Africa will also be bettered. Other countries will be bettered. Thank you.
That's absolutely true. Yesterday, I was interviewing a professor in Addis Ababa. That is one of the things that we were highlighting also, looking at the potential that Nigeria has. He was saying that with the potential, with the education that is in Nigeria, that there is more educated people in Nigeria compared to the whole of the sub-Saharan Africa, which means that if Nigeria can get it right, there is no way the whole of African continent cannot get it right. But if Nigeria gets it wrong, the spillover is going to destroy any successful country in Africa, because every 5 Africans, one of them is in Nigeria. So it is
Absolutely.
too important to be ignored. The success and failure of Nigeria is too important to be ignored. All right, with
Absolutely.
what you have said, Your Royal Highness, it appears that it is gloomy what we have today. The situation that we have in Nigeria today is absolutely gloomy. It's so sad, to say the least. But now, let's break it down piece by piece. Let's try to understand it from the beginning.
Okay.
All right. When Nigeria got independent in 1916, because we are moving towards 61 years now, because if a child was born in 1916, in few days' time, it will be 61 years. A man of 61 years, we cannot refer to him as a child. Okay, if we are looking at the affair of nations, in nationhood, civilization, people, Nigeria is still a child, no? But 60 years is definitely not small years, no? So at 1916, October 1st, what was the aspiration of these people that are called Nigeria? How did they look at themselves looking into the future, beginning from 1916, those years?
Beginning from then, it was like, let me put it this way. It was an achievement of the Western world to put Nigeria together. I must tell you, it was an achievement on their part to say that, yes, Nigeria should be there as one, irrespective of the agitation in those days that we don't want to be together. It started from time immemorial, but hence we had nothing to defend ourselves, and powers was given to those that they wish they can control. Those they wish they can lead or led by nose. Remotely, they gave them power. And then we have nothing. When I say we, the other parts of Nigeria then remained the same and stood together in unity, not in diversity. They continued to a certain time where they now saw that this is no longer working. Why can't we have a better situation whereby Nigeria will be divided? And then they said again, it's not the right thing. Yes, together we stand in Nigeria because we are, I don't know, we are strongly built together. We are meant to be together as people of the same culture and traditions. But the people in it becomes those who destroy the aspirations that came from that 1960 till date. Just like in Southern region, where the ANC have deviated from their main intentions, deviated in the sense that Southern Africa has been expecting ANC, according to their manifesto, according to their memorandum of understanding, they are meant to stand for the whole African continent, unifying all Africans. But that has been hijacked or deviated. And that is why you see Julius Malema keep talking, bringing up or saying that he is now the young version of the aspiration of the Southern region. Same is applicable in Nigeria. Our aspiration was very great, irrespective that a lot of people were hot, including my own parents. They and others were all hot because a lot of us would have been children of billionaires at this very point in time, while Biafra was in existence before the war. But the money was neutralized completely. Till tomorrow, I can tell you, some people are still keeping that currency in the roof within the surroundings that spends that money in those days. But coming back to your point, the aspiration was that Nigeria being together, having Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, and other cultures that makes up Nigeria was the best, because we can now exploit. It's a great nation, I must tell you, because it's a combination of bunch of talents